The engine is starting up.
For launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps. The cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Becon in the dark for you. Reach out, grab that spark. Wisdom waits in silent hues. Find your path out of the dark. Thursday night, the time is near. Guidance shines at 9:30. Eastern winds will draw you here. Hearts and minds no longer blurry. Your fate lies in your own hands. Wisdom flows like desert sands. Knowledge hidden in plain sight. Reach for it with all your might.
Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Susan Long is having a camera issue, so she will be on shortly. So as soon as her camera actually, you can see her, I will plop her on. So welcome everybody. And hold on, let me try that. Maybe she can come back in. So what's up, everybody? We're just waiting for Miss Susan Long to come on. And yes, I'm Susan Swanbeck, the one-handed bandit. So how you doing, everybody? How you been? Long time no see, huh? So, yep, I'm the one-handed bandit. You know, it's really weird when you're right-handed, but your left hand is the one that goes. Figure that out. But I can still do stuff with my right hand. Isn't that awesome? So, first of all, thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. I really, really, really appreciate it. So, was getting Susan Long on here tonight, and we're just going to sit here and just chat and talk about pretty much anything is what we're going to be doing today. So just get back into the swing of things. Kind of wanted to revamp a little bit. Oh, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. As I said, everybody, thank you so much. And hello, Linda. Hello, Michelle. And hello, Keith. So, there we go. Susan Long. Let's see if we can. She's got no picture, but let's see if we can get her on. Did you enable your camera, dear? We got blank. You have to give your camera permission. So. Oh, hold on. Give us a second. Technical things here. All right, let's see.
I don't know what's. I've
It's
used Restream before and I didn't have this problem.
it's all black. Did you open it with Google or did you open it with Safari or some other thing?
Google, I think. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Um,
Well, Susan Long is here, even if you can't see her. Maybe she'll pop up as the show progresses. You never know. You never know, guys. So say hi to Susan Long, and I'm Susan Swanbeck. So we were just going to chat just about anything. And don't forget, guys, to like, subscribe, and follow to all of the Rift Nation Network channels. So for those of you that do not know Susan Long and have never met her, we're just gonna actually just ask her a little bit about herself. Maybe the camera will plop on here and there. So well, you never know. The camera could plop on sometime. So tell us about yourself.
oh, me? Oh,
Yeah.
well. Um, I've been a psychic medium and remote viewer since I was a little kid, so I've seen ghosts and stuff. I didn't realize that other people couldn't see these things till I was 9. What my Irish great granny called Fae. Have all the glares. I used to use them when I was a. What's this app called? Restream. I'm
Yep.
looking for. Do I have to go into my camera and open this up? Um,
Maybe. So you're Irish too.
yeah.
Oh wow.
And
My youngest memory is 4.
I remember Men in Black too.
Ah.
So,
Are you on your phone?
no, I'm on an iPad. I'm looking at this thing.
Oh,
What the?
iPad. It's the same, I think, as a phone. You'd have to enable the camera. Give the camera permission. Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like we have a lot in common over there. So welcome everybody. And Linda Nielsen says hi, Susan Long. So yep, and then we have Mort Ali. Hello, Mort. What you doing? We're just doing simple chat here today, guys, and just getting back into the swing of it. I'm revamping the Beacon in the Dark. So I just want to get a variety of people, other people to bounce off of, just whatever it is we can just help to lighten the way for you guys. So I have absolutely nothing planned here. So let's see. Talk to us, guys. How you guys been? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, it's been a long, long time. So, are you still there?
I'm still here. I'm trying to. I just can't figure this out.
Yeah, it's an iPad. Yeah, you'd probably have to enable the camera. It says 2. Yeah, that's me.
Well, I'm
Okay.
into the camera, but I don't see that
Yeah.
either. Um, as an option, preserve settings.
All right, I'm just gonna keep talking here. I hate dead air. It's one of the things. So what's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, Miss Lois Clark. How are you? Yep, we have Susan Long in here, and she's just having a bit of a camera issue. So, her and I kind of have, I guess, a lot in common. Now, was it you that was into the conspiracies?
Yeah, that's me, and I'm also SSP. I was on Super Soldier Talk the other day talking about. I think the reason I glow is because I'm a descendant of the Tuatha
Huh.
and they called them the Shining Ones. And yeah, if we could get me on camera, you might see me glow.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, you never know. We're trying to get her on camera, so we'll just keep talking and see how you're doing. Yeah, as I was saying, my youngest memory of speaking with the dead was 4. That's the youngest I can actually remember. But I've always been close to, I guess people call them the blues, because the blues is what I used to get a lot of information from the blues, and they're very nice.
Oh, I have
Okay.
like
He says you might have to go in iPad settings to enable it.
I'm like looking. I'm like, which freaking setting do I have?
Yeah, the
to
camera settings or restream enable camera. because you have to give it permission if you're on a phone or an iPad.
Yeah, I can't see Restream isn't coming up at all for me when I
Go into
search it.
your try go into your camera settings as well, Sue.
The
So,
StreamYard's showing
um,
up.
yep. So we'll keep talking. So Linda said, "Good here, lots of canning. Oh, and crocheting. Yes, I've actually have come up with alternate ways of holding my crocheting because it's my thumb that doesn't really function that well. So, I've actually I had such a fit that I had to figure out how to do it, so I did. So, thunderstorms. Ooh, Michelle Wilfong, be careful of those thunderstorms. Right now, we've got major heat over here in this area. So there's been a lot going on. I don't know if you work a lot with Palladians or any of the other areas. When you first came on, your picture was up and then your camera disappeared, just to let you know. I seen you and then you disappeared. And that was the first time you
I'm
came
gonna
on.
try going into the
So,
browser and see what happens.
okie dokie. So as she's doing that, we'll just keep talking. I only let you use the cam on one program. Try closing Restream. That's from Keith Ottisberg. It'll only let you use the cam on one program. So if you have more than one program open, then you can't use it. You'd have to close it on the other. That's what Keith says. Yeah. Huh. All right. So we're just gonna keep chatting over here. So what are some of the subjects here, guys, that you really want to get into? There's a lot of things I'd like to get into. There's a lot of information, a lot of misinformation out there as well. Things that I'd really like to figure out how to deeply dive into that, and it's a little difficult to figure that one out. Let me take one headphone out. That's a little better. Yep, the camera's still not on. I am listening and I am on the road. Hey, Mr. Odell, how you doing? Yeah, still not really moving the hand too. I can move the hand, I just can't really move the thumb. But don't worry, I found an alternate way to do the thing. Yeah, she's having a bit of a camera issue, so we're gonna continue to talk because I didn't plan anything but really chat. I mean, just sit and chat and backtrack and just keep track of everybody. I mean, I'd like to kind of revamp Beacon in the Dark, and I'd really love to know from you guys what are some of the topics or subjects that you would like for me to get into. I mean, I'd like to have like floating guests on here or a floating co-host, so to speak. Just a bunch of different co-hosts coming on Thursday. They don't have to do it every Thursday. I thought it would be something that would give that ability to bounce off other people as well. So yeah, I took a week off. It's just arthritis thumb issue, so I took a week off to try to let it heal. Because you know me, I talk with my hands, and now I've got to learn to talk with one hand here. So hopefully Susan will come back in and we could talk about that. Yeah, but as I was talking, past lives. Ooh. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. Past lives, add to stream. Okay, let's click. Ah, we got her.
Sorry, I had to switch devices. Now I'm
We
on
got
my
her.
phone. It's working on my phone.
Ah, I've never tried it on a tablet, so yeah. Past lives is one of the things you guys want to talk about. That's pretty awesome. So this is Susan Long, guys. Now that you actually get to see who she is,
I actually do
so
past life regressions.
yeah, that was something. There was a guy around here that used to do something like that. So, yeah, we were talking before about your experiences. You're a medium, you're a psychic too, things like that. And now, as far as like information, you ever had contact with the blues?
I have three different blue races that contacts me. There's the blue ones that I think they're Arcturians, but I also I call them Saint Michael. Usually ETs come. I know it sounds weird, but
No, not really.
because
Not to me,
those
it
are
don't.
Catholic, and I just call them my angels because they look like angels to me, but to other people they look like other things.
The
But
the ones that come to me look like fae. I would have to say fae. You know, the pointy ears, almost fae like. Not
um,
human, but pointy ear ones. They're blues. I
I've
don't know
seen
who they are.
I've seen actual like human sized fae in my
Yeah.
house. But the blue ones come and help me. Like I was working on this old fellow, and he'd come back home to Delaware. That's when I was living there. I'm also in retirement. I do I said put hands on people in a good way now. Because I've been a licensed massage therapist. I do cranial sacral fascial therapy. I'm a Reiki, Holy Fire, and Osui Reiki master teacher. So, and I do past life regressions and a bunch of other massage related stuff. But when I was at his place, he told me he was dying, and he's like, Susan, why didn't you tell me I had cancer? You told me you were psychic. And I said, well, my guides only tell me things that you don't know. I said, apparently you knew when you moved back to Delaware that you had cancer. So that wasn't something they were going to tell me. And he was like, well, okay. Because that was at the ends where they had given him so many weeks or months to live.
Yep.
And he was a cranial sacral therapist and teacher out in Colorado, and he'd come back to Delaware to be at his daughter's house, I think it was, to die. She had a little apartment off the side of the house. And
Mm.
he said to me, um, he said, I know if we work together, we can heal me, but I don't want to be healed. I want to, cross over and be with my late wife. And I said, well, okay. But is it okay if I call my angels, me still being my good little Catholic girl, to
That's twice. Go ahead.
let let you pass in the most peaceful and
Yeah.
pain free way possible? That's what I'm going to ask them. They can't interfere at all. And he was like,
Now you
okay.
had like a little mini bird like feature figure over you, and then there was smoke that just went right down. So yeah. So Keith wants to know, you do past life regression?
Yeah.
Question mark is what he's saying.
Yeah, I do, Keith. And but what I went out to this guy's vestibule to go pray for him,
Yeah.
and I said, please don't interfere, just the least painful way that he can go, the most peaceful way. And while I was out there crying, because I'm like a super so I'm out there. As soon as they say cancer, I start crying, because that was like my first deal with death when I was 9. Was my mom's best friend had cancer.
Yeah.
But anyways, I go back in there, and it seemed like it was taking him forever to get on the table, because I was doing mobile massage for him, and he started face down, and he looks up at me and he says, Susan, these two blue angels came in, and I was struggling to get on the table, and they pushed me up onto the table, and then they flew off really quick because they didn't want me to see them. I said, well, what did they look like? He said they were wearing blue Superman suits.
I like that. Blue Superman. I like that. Yeah, that's pretty. It's really very interesting. You do like you're talking about crossing someone over. Now, as far as like me, this is just chit chat, guys. We're gonna talk about a bunch of different crap tonight. So if there's anything you want to know, just pipe right in there. But as far as me, it's like I've always put people in a dream before they pass is one of the things that I did. I've done it to my grandmother. My mother went the same way, and it's just I would literally put them in a dream, and then they'd pass. My grandmother waited for me to finish setting up my house because I had just moved, and when I went there, I put her into a dream, and that's when she passed. So yeah, very similar.
Interesting, because I
Yeah.
remember when I went to go see my great aunt Teresa, my maternal aunt, she was in hospice, and oh my god, that was 30 some years ago, and I was working in detectives, so it was easier to get away. And my
Mm.
aunt, my dad's sister, and my mom went downstairs to get a coffee after we get to her room, and I'm sitting there, and I was told she was in a coma. All of a sudden she sits up and she goes, Susan, I've been waiting for you. I knew you would come.
See,
But she had to wait for me to get there, and then she just goes back, and I'm like, how come no one's ever around to see this stuff? I experience it by myself. And I'm like, she came out of the coma and started talking to me and went right back into it. And my aunt and my mom are looking at me like, yeah, right. I said,
Well,
I
I had
see.
a nurse when I walked in to go see my grandmother. A nurse came up to me and said, "Oh, you're the one that's going to help her pass." And I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, you're the one that's going to help her pass." So she came up to me and said, "Yeah, I heard all about you. Your grandmother talked all about you," which is weird because my grandmother and I would talk, but not really about too much about this right now. So and then I went in the room, and that was it. She went into a dream, and you know that's when she passed. But yeah, the last thing I heard was a chuckle, which I knew she was driving my grandfather nuts with it. And I got a picture of like the washing machine hitting the side of the counter, which he hated. So when she was pissed off at him, she would start the washing machine and let it put it full blast so it would sit there and slam the counter every time she was mad. So I mean, it's just my grandmother. She's dying. What does she do? She's gonna drive him nuts. So
That is kind
yeah.
of funny, though.
Yeah, past life regression. Now, have you been to one yourself?
Yeah, I had to have a couple done to me while
Yeah,
I was learning how to do them. And I remember, well, I had moved out. This is really weird. I moved out here to Iowa from southeastern Pennsylvania and northern Delaware
yeah.
to be with my husband. I remembered from the secret space program, but it was an altar of him, and that's been over for 2.5 years because he was everything I never wanted. And like I put better people in prison than that guy, but I'm still back here in my practical magic Victorian house that I always wanted.
Yeah.
So I've been out here for 5 years. But anyways, where was I going with that? Now I forgot.
Past lives.
Oh yeah, and I remembered him from past lives. But I remember being on a beach, like it looked like Northern Ireland, and when the when the tide would when it went to low tide, he could walk over on a land bridge, and then sometimes he would get stuck there with me. But anyways, we were playing on the beach, and there was a man of war on the beach, and I said, "Don't touch it." And per usual, he didn't listen to me, even though he knows I'm psychic and stuff. And he goes and touches it, so he's screaming, and his arms stinging. So in my memory of that life, um, I remember I was taking him to the town healer, and the thing was, when I did the regression, I went back to that bit of memory. I was trying to grab it, and I remember taking him to the healer's house. But when I get to the healer's house, the healer's my fake great grandma, and
Oh,
she said,
wow.
"Yeah," she says, "I've been waiting for you." So I'm in this trance, and I'm talking to great grandma, and then they want to keep moving you, but then you'll get in that space where I was like, "Hold on, let me stay here. I'm talking."
Mine were weird. Mine
But
were very weird, like out of this world weird. When I went through it once, and one of the lifetimes I had, I mean, I remember my first, but one of the lifetimes I had, I was a gypsy. And evidently I was like, I don't know what they call the person that you always went to, the head lady gypsy person. I don't know the name of that. But I was that person in a past life. But here's the weird part. Up on like there was I was in like the thing over in here. And then if you go, there was up a hill, there was a guy, black hair, dark hair, and literally I called the guy a vampire, and I said, "The vampire is here. He's coming." And that's what I was telling somebody. And that's when they pulled me out of that. Now that's weird. Supposedly in a past life there was a vampire and I was a gypsy. That's
um,
just weird.
I believe in, well, that's
Yeah.
another weird story. Talking about the disclosure community, I remember Renetta Jones. She just passed away from cancer, and she was only like 45.
Wow.
Um, she has a lot of podcasts where she does a lot of where you can see like the ancients that turned to stone, and she'll go around different parts of the USA and show you like the ancient giants and things like that and the titans. But
Yeah.
anyways, I showed her this picture of this love bite that I woke up with one day, and I didn't have a boyfriend for like 2 3 years at that point. I took a picture of it because it's just something I used to do to document stuff when I was a cop. So,
Me
anyways,
too.
Um, couple years later, I find out it's the guy who I moved here for. He's also a vampire. Um, him and his ex-wife used to drink each other's blood and do weird stuff. Of course, I didn't find out all this weird stuff till like 2 years in. And I'm like, I'm so over all this craziness.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and the black magic attacks from his ex-wife and all kinds of crazy stuff like that.
Mm.
But one day I woke up during the COVID lockdowns and I hadn't had blood work done for like 3 years. I have, because I'm a redhead, I got a bruise right here. And I took a picture of that. And Renetta says, "You're not in the Midwest, are you?" I said, "As a matter of fact, I am smack dab in the middle of the country." And she says, "You need to get out of there." She says, "There's a lot of vampires out that way." And she says, "They're looking for people like you." I was like, "Great." So I always got to be packing heat when I go out. She said, "They're terrified of you in the daytime, but um, they don't." She said, "Be careful at night if you have to go out anywhere out this way." I said, "Okay."
Wow.
She
So
said,
that wasn't a fly by night. That was an actual past life with a vampire. Son of a
it
bum.
could have been because she
Yeah.
said they took my blood because I'm in menopause now, so they don't have any access to my blood any other way except to draw it out of me. And she said they took I should probably shut up about this, but she said because I'm not just Fey, I'm Feymon. That's why I glow sometimes.
Yeah.
I got pictures of that. Um, especially when I'm doing energy work. My eyebrows and stuff will disappear. She said they wanted your blood because the vampires can use it as a looking glass. That's why they
Oh,
stole your blood. I thought they were doing, because I'm pretty sure the stuff they were up to, they're like full blown, hose of ball and Baphomet from because I had so many, I had archons, I had to clear all kinds of stuff in here. So
wow.
I think I've got all of his things. And this guy Bill Tyson made me this Genesa crystal thing, this thing here, and I run a
Nice.
violet ray through that with the crystals in it, and it makes it easier to meditate. Like I was in there the first time I was in there, I saw this Victorian guy. I think it was the original owner of this house, looking at me down into that thing because I like to lay in it. And I saw some reptilians and I also saw like 8 or 9 archons. They kind of looked smoky, like the corpse cadavers of the pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yep.
And there's like these smoke things, and I could see like there was 8 of them, and I'm in there with my violet flame sword, cutting them all off of me, and
Wow.
and yeah, because I didn't realize because they did spell work and stuff, they were siphoning off me. So I think I got them all.
Yeah,
But
psychic vampires.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
and because they were vampires, they put those things and yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
But I got to get this thing up and running before I go to that. I'm going to the what is it? Full Disclosure Now conference at St.
What's your take on I'll tell you my take on it. What's your take on the COVID vaccines? As far as I know, literally, and again, this is just my insight, it has nothing to do with the network, just so you know, it's my insight personally. This has to do with all the little mini nanites that kind of rearrange like your DNA. And again, that's my insight on what's happening right now with
I
that.
totally believe you. It's a delivery system they put inside of people. I found the
Yeah.
white papers for it in March of 2020 for the waxing. And as soon as I saw, I don't want to get a strike on your channel, but it's not Jesus, it's the other guy, Lucifer. They put a light up protein of his in there. And I've been waiting since high school for the mark of the beast. 'Cause I was like, they're either going to destroy us by fire because I used to have a lot of those nightmares, and I was obsessed with Revelations part of the Bible, but I thought for sure that we were going to all be gone before I turned 25, and
Wow.
I'm still here, but I don't have those fiery death dreams anymore. I have other weird stuff.
Huh.
But yeah, I think they were they're trying to like cyborg us, and I think they wanted to get rid of a lot of the Gen X's and a lot of the boomers. They just don't want them in the system, and that was the easy way to take them out. And then
Yeah, I think so too. I really do. Keith says energy vampires suck.
yes, they
Energetic
do.
shields help. Sorry. Keith always does that. Yeah, I really believe that because there are some people that had like latent conditions, and all of a sudden after that they started developing certain conditions. And I don't know, maybe it's me because of what I went through. My mother was fine, and then all of a sudden she got the shots and she developed ALS. She's recently passed from it, but it doesn't run in the family. How else would she end up with it? So, it could be the blame game as far as I'm concerned, but it's just my opinion. Yeah.
I think they had everything to do with it, and this has been planned. And
Mm.
like I was talking to a crop insurer guy, and he was there's my co-host. He's always got to be a part of the show. That's a little bit my free feral cat. Um, shit, where was I going with that one? He just
Oh.
um, crap. Now I forgot. I was just gonna put on here in case anything's oh shoot. I can't see any questions unless I pull up the show.
Yeah, I've been plopping them on. There's really no questions right now. Uh oh, yeah, I have a brace. I'm just not wearing the brace right now. Thank you, Linda. I've just got my glove on right now. Past life regressions, Egypt, and Keith with the vampires. Right now, there's actually no questions whatsoever. How he's listening. Hey, Howie! So a lot of people are extremely interested in the past lives. Now, do you do it like the meditation type ones that I used to do?
Well,
Oh, Ed. Ed is joined. Come on!
we're using the lady I learned from because Dolores Cannon wouldn't do them unless you did it in person.
Yeah,
Crystal wanted to do them like online too, so she took Dolores Cannon's original script,
yeah.
and that's what we use. But then she wanted to tweak it and take out the part where you climb onto the cloud, because she said some people were having issues with too many ET rememberings. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's a possibility too.
but she I mean, I have gotten off planet lives and lives here,
Yeah.
and but like I don't know how these people are saying they're getting SSP lives from past life regressions, because that's not what I'm
SSP.
seeing. Yeah, the secret space program.
Oh. Hey, Mr. Odell. What's happening?
Hello, you pretty ladies. How are y'all this
We're
evening?
chilling. We're just
We're
chilling.
good.
She was like, we're good. Long, you made it here.
I know. Oh, there we are. I
Ah,
finally got it up.
There you
Oh,
well,
go.
and I look like I'm glowing. Yeah, weird.
Yeah, so you popped on. Was that the when we were talking about the COVID shots?
me?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's, well, actually,
Okay.
actually,
All right.
it's tradition.
What's
And I,
tradition?
I can't break tradition.
Okay.
So,
Oh, yeah.
in traditional wise of the RNN, the Rift Nation Network,
Yeah.
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Susan Ravens Woman. Happy birthday to you.
And
I have.
then more.
Oh, funny. Leave me like that. He just takes himself right off. Wow. That's Howie for you. Hey, Phoenix, how you doing? Long time no see, dear. So we got Susan Long in the house here. We're just sitting here chatting, just having a nice, calming chit chat. So thank you for the birthday wishes. Proud 60 here. Yep. Awesome, awesome. So, but yeah, the past life, I knew somebody, the one that actually did it through like a meditative type state. And he did it through doors. There were certain doors that have certain ones of your past life. I wish he would have let me stay longer in a couple of them, but certain doors, that's where you went into. You went into the doors of the past lives. I think this guy was like, he was what, a registered hypnotherapist, but I think he was he a hypnotherapist? I think he was a hypnotherapist, but this was like a long time ago. I went through that. So, but they say when it comes to past lives that a lot of times things that happen to us, like in our past lives, affect how we act and react in this life. So,
Well, they
even,
do, because
yeah.
also when I do the cranial sacral fascial therapy, I've like, it starts out with cranial sacral therapy, but it also turns into John Barnes unwinding and myofascial release. But I've released stuff from oh, past lives. Like I remember this one guy was having migraines, and I said, my guide's telling me I need to unwind your teeth, so I'm gonna put some gloves on. So I put gloves on, and I went to touch his molar, and as soon as his head moved that way, I got this vision of some old man ripping all his teeth out because these were pedophiles and doing this to
Oh,
little kid,
damn.
you know. And like we had to stop, and I'm pretty sure that was a past life or a parallel life. We didn't stay there long enough to find out because we were both kind of freaking out. We didn't want to be there. So, yeah. Then we moved to something else, but also on that same person. This was weird, and I've seen it on a couple of people that were in those government programs. They When I was working on him with his abdomen, like I was like, somebody took you out of your womb, your mom's womb when you were still gestating, and then they
Oh,
put you
wow.
back. Yeah, they did some kind of CRISPR tech to him, and which is what was in the what's they were get forcing people to get a couple years ago because they can go in with that tech and actually change your DNA.
Yeah.
And yeah, not good
Wow.
because I don't want to
Now,
start
could
barking
that
on the
be? And
dog.
I'll read Keith, and then, but I got this thought in my head. What if you're born with one blood type, and partway through you end up with another?
Shoot, that's what that guy moved out here for. He told me he was B positive, but now he's supposedly O positive.
I was born AB negative, and now I'm RH negative.
Interesting. And
Yeah, very weird.
you didn't have a blood transfusion?
No, just a lot of people in my teenage years, not people, things going up.
Because I'm a O positive, but my mom's an O negative, so I carry it in recessive.
Yeah,
And but I'm so old that they didn't have Rogam shots back then. So they used to like to take people like me that survived a O negative mother because we're physically stronger.
yeah. My
So,
son's Oneg.
but like my
Yeah.
siblings are O negative, and um, hmm, they're not psychic. I think it's the redheads with the green eyes are more psychic, but
Yeah.
because my great grandma that was faced, she was redhead with green eyes. Um,
Keith
yeah,
said when we do shadow work and heal in this life, it can actually release things from a past life.
yeah, it can.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Sometimes we'll remember our past lives and sometimes we won't. Like sometimes we'll react a certain way. And a lot of us, like the everyday average person, will just have no clue why they're reacting that way. And a lot of times it had something to do with past lives. Now, what is this? She what? I've had to have the Rogram shots. Rogram.
Rogam, that's what they give the Rh negative mothers so they can carry the positive Ruth's child without killing them. Because usually they just self abort.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's strange. That
Well,
really is
that's
strange.
because they think, well, that's why they used to do the blood test before marriage. They wouldn't let you,
Yeah.
if you're positive, marry, because you'd start having miscarriages and not know why. So,
Huh.
yeah.
Yeah, they stopped that practice. They really did.
But that kind of makes me wonder, did they want us separate before and now they want us all to mix? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird because when I was in, like I said, when I was in fourth grade, I was AB negative. And then when I go to the doctor, they test me and I'm something totally different. Okay, when did this happen? But I had kids. So the whole thing is just really weird. The whole thing is weird. Oh, positive. What is it? Keith says, oh, positive. I have an implant in my right hand after an abduction. I have x rays of it. I have one behind my eye, which is weird.
I've gotten tags where they put the little triangle marks on.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's
Behind my eye.
there's like three, they do three little burn marks and they'll
Yep.
be on my arm, and I think that's different ET races come in and tag you, because when I've got this pyramid that's like a manifestation device that I've
Right.
got in the basement, and as soon as I turned it on, there was three beings standing there like, what is this human doing? And I was like, hi, this is my manifestation device and I'm
Yeah.
going to be talking to it. And I asked her what its name was, and she told me her name was Bertha. And yeah, well, she's supposed to be birthing things, right? She's like,
Maybe. Linda, for me, did my doctor told me that I was supposedly always RH negative. I have no idea. But as far as the thing behind my eye, I took a picture of it in an old phone. I sent it over to my old Facebook account, but I actually have a picture of the thing when they do the eye test and they were magnifying it. That's when they found it. He magnified and he goes, "What the hell is this?" Oh well. So I took a picture of it after he took a picture of it. When you wake up with a new scar, yeah,
I'm wondering
Keith
if they
said,
wanted to, is there actually, because some people had cameras in their heads because they would record stuff when we were in the
yeah.
programs. It was usually your left eye, like, because I think for some reason they like to like cybernetic that your left eye to do different things to it. But I also remember they had these weird contacts. But this is a weird thing I could do when I was a cop, and I can still do it. Is I can look through people's eyes. So I wonder who's trying to look through your eye. Can you do that? Like if somebody's missing, look through their eyes.
Oh, you mean
Like
like
you're
a
kind of like,
distant psychic thing? I forget what
yeah,
they
it's
call it.
like you step into their body and look out of their eyes. That's how I would find missing people. Because I'd look at a picture of them and think about them and like walk into. I don't even know how I do that.
I don't know. I can read pictures as far as photographs. I can read the energy on the photographs. As far as people at a distance to see where they're at, no, I could probably describe the surroundings of where they are, if that's what you mean. I can describe the area that they're in, but I can't really see them.
Oh, um,
Yeah.
I had one guy out here. Shoot, if I showed you a picture, because actually he's the brother of this lady I contract for. But this, anyways, um, uh, I didn't know who he was because I would have known who he was if I was back out east.
Yeah.
And I go to do. He came in for a massage, but he was complaining he couldn't get in his sister's place, so he was at this other place I was contracting at, and I tried to do some cranial sacral to him, but for me that's also energy work. And
Yeah.
then I just tuned in somehow, wasn't even trying, and I'm looking out of his eyes, and I'm in this farm truck on the corner of the farm looking at a 2-lane highway, and there's, looks like farm straight across the road. But
Right.
I'm looking at his eyes and I see my gene as if they're my genes, but I know they're his. and I see the little girl, and she's got like shorts on or something. I see her little skinny knees, and legs dangling over on the other seat. And I said to him, "What were you doing?" And then I also got another tab open because Elton John's "Tiny Dancer" is playing in my head, going, "Hold me closer, Tiny Dancer." And then I'm seeing lights going by on the highway.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
like, why's my psychic ability got to be so weird like this? And I said to him, what were you doing in the farm truck on the corner of your farm looking at the highway with a little girl in the truck? And he screams at me really loud, what are you, a prophet or something? And I was so startled. I went, oh, I pulled my hands off him. I didn't scream. I just. And then it broke the connection. But after he left, I found out he was a pedophile that had been arrested. He was waiting trial.
Oh,
I was getting
wow.
ready to see him molest this little 12-year-old girl sitting next to him. Yeah,
Damn.
he was in
He
his
said
30s.
that he had a witch look through his dog. Both my roommate and him actually saw on my dog the same thing. Saw her face on the dog. Wow.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that is.
Because I've seen remote viewers like trying to spy on me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to be careful and close this my Harry Potter bathroom door down here because it's got an old beveled Victorian and silvered mirror, and if
Right.
it's open, it can make a portal. When it's shining at my front door, which is also beveled, and I've seen people portal in like right in that hallway, and I'm like, shit, I've got to go close that door because it just makes it easier for them to remote view. Sometimes I'll see the whole body, and then I had these freakazoid remote viewers, like when I had a partner, they would just like I'd just see this part of their head up by the crown molding in my
Wow.
bedroom. Yeah, and then I have to kick them out. And so I didn't usually like telling people I was a remote viewer because it just attracts more of them. And
Mm.
like, why are you coming and spying on me when you know I can see you, mofo? What
Have you
the-
ever run through a time portal? There was this house that I investigated. Oh God, back when I was younger, when I used to investigate, and she literally had a time portal. One side of her house was normal time. The other side of her house was distant past, like horse and buggy distant past. So it's like I could see the present, but I could see through that. It was weird. It was felt like I was in two different sides type area.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a house. It took a while to get there. Yeah, that was the strangest one ever.
I
She was
haven't.
close to a river too.
Well, I'm close to a river.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got all the weird stuff and lots of witches out here, so I had to do some witch stuff to keep them out.
yeah.
Um, and they haven't bothered me because they didn't. The Masons had all the ley lines in this town locked down, so they were going backwards
Mm,
and or whatever. So they were just real negative. And then I was trying to pour golden light into them to heal the town.
yeah,
And oh my God, I got attacked so hard. It felt like I had an aneurysm when I did that. And I was afraid to do anything or think about it for a little while. But I know that was them because I tried to do it again, and it just, yeah, it felt like because me and my partner at the time were doing we're doing magic together, and we were just shooting the magic into the ley lines to try to,
yeah,
heal them all around the house, and we kept getting hit. And then one time we were here, shit, I don't know who I was doing distance Reiki, but when I do that, I just pull their energy body onto my table, and
yeah.
then I'll do a Zoom recording and look at them, and then I'll close my eyes and pretend like they're on the table, but they are to me, their energy. And
Right,
then I can show them what their chakras look like before, which isn't part of Reiki, and then show them how I opened everything up and
right.
afterwards, because I like visual aids, so they can, it's kind of hard to explain that stuff. It's easier if I have a visual aid. But, anyways, I was down at his feet pulling some energy because he had stuck energy in his shoulder or something while I was down there, and I got my eyes closed. All of a sudden, because he was in Canada. I think I was in his city, but I accidentally popped into this panel truck where these two little kids were being trafficked because they had duct tape on their mouths, their hands were tied behind them, and their feet were also tied with something. And it was like I was holding on to the back of the truck, and then the panel went, up real quick,
Oh, wow.
and I see that it was a little boy and a little girl, and then all of a sudden I get hit with like a psychic wrench, and yeah, I had to. I was asking my partner, I was like, "Can you pull this thing off of my head? I know where it is." But sometimes when I ask people to do that and they pull
Yeah,
it off, I can see the whole thing psychically. But when I
right.
pull it off, I can't always see it. Because yeah, one of my friends would say, "You can do that. You're more powerful than me." I said, "Yeah, but when you do it, I can see what the hell it is. And then who said it will be standing there too." I said, "I don't know why my ability works that way." I'm like, I
We
noticed
all work
things.
weird. I guess Keith had a Harry Potter door under his attic before the fire.
Oh.
It would pop open all the time, I guess, before the fire. But yeah, there's been a lot of like weird stuff going on. But as far as Reiki, I do know what Reiki is. I'm a Reiki master teacher as well, except I add chakra cleansing and balancing to mine as well. Because I just don't, why would you go in and heal somebody and not take care of the chakras? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it
It
doesn't
never
to
did.
me either. And then
It never
and
did.
then when I'm pulling off attachments, why am I not going through and giving them another layer of protection? Because I also go in
Yeah.
after I'm all done. Because and then I flip them over too. Because some people have kick me signs on the back of them that I got to take off. I've literally
I
seen that. One lady, she had like it was like somebody took a piece of tape and put this kick me. She had some shit going on in her life. I was like, you know what? You literally
yeah.
have a kick me sign on the back of your head, like when we were in elementary school. She says that's what it feels like. I said I'm embarrassed to even tell you that this thing's back here, but I'm gonna take it off. So you'll take stuff off, and then they got little holes in their aura.
Yes,
So
exactly.
so I do this extra thing, and I'll like call it my holy fire and fame on energy healing. Because when we did the holy fire upgrade, they didn't want us using any symbols except the holy fire. And but still, sometimes I put my other ones in there. But I go back around and then I'll just use my pendulum and I think I'm filling them and I'm covering them with like this. It almost looks like golden healing honey, but it's like alive too. So
Right.
it moves while it's on them. And I put them in those sleeping bags where just your face sticks out. So
Oh my God. Yeah. Back in the old camping days. Yep.
yeah, I cover them all up with that so they just look like they're snug like a bug in a rug.
Snug as a
And it
bug in a
just
rug.
moves on them.
Oh,
And then I was reading this thing about, what is that? The Japanese that use gold on pottery to make it stronger. I'm like, yeah, I'm making their aura stronger, but I'm also keeping it so nothing can grab onto those spots, weaker spots. Ugh, you don't speak English. Weaker spots in their aura.
yeah. I 100% agree with that because
and
even if you just like go and you're just like, okay, I'm a Reiki master, but you don't know about chakras, you don't know about auras, you don't know about energies. And I'm not knocking anybody, guys. I'm just saying you want to add that to your repertoire. You really do.
And one of there's a talk therapist sent this lady who she's like, well, I have this lady, she's having a lot of anxiety and stuff. And do you think Reiki would help her? And I was like, sure, because I worked when I was in detectives, I was in the family services unit and the drug unit. So I worked vice and, with rape victims. And I said, sure, I'd love to work on her and help her out.
Mhm.
And when she came at the end, when I wasn't telling her what I was doing, and she's laying there, and she said, "Are you putting golden light into me?" I said, well, actually, it startled me because I was concentrating, and I opened up my eyes and I looked at it, and I was like, "What the f?" I said, "You can see that?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I'm pulling all this golden, healing energy out of the ether, and I'm covering you with it." You
Yeah.
know, because that's the highest vibration color that I know of, and I'm just covering you, and silver's the next best thing, but it's not as powerful as gold. But I said, I'm pulling it down. I just see it as basically liquid Christ consciousness. I'm pulling down, I'm covering you in that, whatever you want to call it. But she could see it. She's like, yeah, it's coming down through your crown and out of you. And I was like, okay then.
Oh my God. It's almost time, but what is your take on astro travel? Now, I had a weird circumstance happen. I don't know if you've ever had anything like this happen. I had somebody that was pulling me out of my body. Now I'm very attached to my man. Very, very attached. So when I started leaving my body, I pulled him out of his. I pulled him with me. And I guess it startled him awake. So he went down and I went back down. It was weird.
I could, well, I yeah, actually when we were doing the you know what magic with my partner, I actually
Mm,
put him in my Merkaba and turned him towards me, and we went up to our soul star chakra, and
yeah,
which to me is I'm sitting on like this plate, and I'm looking down at the earth, you know.
yeah.
And he was like, wow, you just took me with you. And he was like really surprised. I said, I don't know how I do these things. I just
Yeah,
concentrate on
he's the first one I've ever grabbed to take with me. It was
but
like,
that
"Oh, hell
was,
no, I'm going, you're coming," type
yeah,
thing.
but we were awake when I did that. But another
Yeah,
time when his son was here and he was sleeping in the other room with with his son so he could go to sleep, I was laying in bed and I could feel somebody trying to suck my soul out of me, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not me trying, because when I astral travel it feels different. It's not force. This was
right.
forcing me. And I was having trouble getting to sleep that night. So whoever was trying to take me thought I was asleep, but I wasn't. And I was just pulling my cord back like this. I literally was in my bed going, what the F? I don't know who the hell you are, but this isn't me going astral, because somebody was trying to pull me into the astral. And yeah, it could have been the ex, but yeah, don't try to pull me in there, because I'll just grab my cord and pull it back into me. That that did scare the shit out of me for, and then I think it was another half an hour before I felt
No,
like,
I think I scared him a bit, but he's like, to me, he's like my protector, literally my protector, not just like physical, but energy too. So I guess because I was traveling, I was like, "Oh no, you're coming with me." Like, I was taking him with me. That was really weird. Very strange.
I like to astral travel, because I remember somebody was telling me, they were telling me, oh, I don't like it. I go to dark places. I said, not me. I'm going to places where there's rainbows and we're eating good food. I'm like,
Uh,
who do I want to visit tonight? Maybe I'll go visit my late husband and his best friend. We're going to go eat some pizza. I'm like, bye.
there
You
you
know?
go.
Because like if I
Pizza
do
and
that,
beer.
because like at least once a year, him and his best friend that passed away 30 some years ago,
Oh wow.
we'll meet at this pizza shop um, across from where I used to live in Delaware. And I, in my dream, I'm at the pizza shop ordering a pizza at the counter, and all of a sudden I hear them yell, Susan. And I'm like, hey guys. And they're like, we've been waiting for you. So then we sit down and eat pizza and have some birch beer, and yeah,
Huh?
good times.
It is. We're getting close to the end here, guys. We've just been literally shooting the poop. 'Cause I can't say the other word online. Shooting the poop here. And again, I want to thank Susan Long. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I like
So,
talking. Well, I thought I was going to be on somebody else's podcast. So I was already, because I was
uh,
like, okay, I'm just going to take it easy at work. I'm not going to yoga. I'm going to do the podcast. And he's like, oh, somebody else on there. I'm like, well, I'm ready. Susan says she needs somebody. And anytime you want to talk about paranormal stuff, because I astral travel.
I don't do much paranormal anymore. I used to. I used to be a paranormal investigator. Every now and then I'll do something on the paranormal, but mainly I kind of stick to like anything that can help people. I'll do a lot of research on many different topics and subjects, right down to natural medicine to try to help as many people as possible. So, but I don't do much in the paranormal anymore. I used to. No, but
Yeah.
not my thing. I'd like to try to visit my sisters across the country, Linda said. That'd be another really good show on astro projection, astro travel. It's kind of something hard to teach in a talk about situation, but at least teaching the safety measures would be a good idea. Because you
Yeah.
need to cord. You need to cord yourself. You can get lost if you don't. That'd be a good thing. And everybody's interested in the past life regressions.
They are
Yeah,
interesting. I just haven't had one
yeah.
done in a while.
Linda says, thank you, both Susans. Great show. Same. I stepped away from a lot of that, a lot of the paranormal. Yeah, I used to do a lot of paranormal, but now it's like more of the self-help energy work, stuff like that. So
Yeah. A
yeah,
lady today asked me, 'cause I contracted a spa and I also work. This is my office here in my house too. And she said, do you read do you do card readings? I said, I don't really read cards anymore. I used to do that. And I said, I'd rather you came for a Reiki session because
yeah,
all spirits and your guides are welcome to come in and chat with me while I'm giving you healing because I'm already in that vibration. And I kind of got known for that out here because
yeah.
people get disappointed if they don't get Reiki in a spirit.
Yeah, I don't have any idea what any cards mean. I just channel through them because the guides come to me and tell me, and I don't like to drain myself when I do a show. If somebody comes to me personally, then I don't use anything except their energy. I hold their hand. But when I'm doing a show, I just channel through certain decks. That's kind of all I do. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But thank you for so much for coming in, Little Miss
Thanks for
Irish
having.
too. What was the Irish last name? Casey was my grandmother's.
Well, actually, Long is, but that's the bastardized Irish version of it because
Yeah,
it's O long A in Irish. That we have Shays, we have, oh my God, there's so many of them.
yeah,
And then shoot, I was obsessed with the name Bridget and I didn't find out till like 10 years ago before my godfather passed. He was showing me all the pictures he had collected with the family genealogy, and the Longs are from Cork, but there's Shays and Rays and
wow,
I mean, I know they're from Cork. She was from Bridget was from Tyrone. Then we had Longs and Carrie. But there's so many different surnames. That's just my dad's surname. And
yeah,
my great Irish great grandmom, I forget what hers was, but she was married to a guy that with his last name was Diamond. I think that's French. But they were like,
yeah. I
no,
think
it's
so.
Irish. Um,
Yeah, so many names, literally so many names. And then when you come over, they change the spelling of the name, so or they drop one of your last names. So it's really hard to tell, but it's an interesting factor. I mean, we can get into all kinds of stuff. But I will keep you guys posted and let you know what I'm going to do for a show next week. And you should see me on Saturday for, of course, Bag of Nuts, a little bit of crazy readings going on because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. And thank you so much, Susan. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow to the Rift Nation Network. It is the place to be. It is the best place in the world. We're all a little different, but we're all a little crazy, and it makes it a lot of fun. So I just want to say bye. Peace out, guys. Any last words before I end this?
yeah, be safe out there.
Have fun. Don't get
That
caught.
too.
Be good. Well, not too good. Just have fun. All right. Bye.